Now, you were you married to Meredith Ackerman?
That's correct.
And when and under what circumstances did you meet Meredith?
I met her in 2006 in Greenwood at the Jeff's Bar and Grill.
Okay. And when did you eventually get married?
In February of 2012.
And so in 2012 you got married. Did you love her?
I did very much.
Even on the day of this event, May 6, 7 of 2023, were you still in love with your wife?
I was.
Did you and Meredith have any children?
We did. We have 3 children together.
Could you tell the jury what their names are and their ages?
There's Gray, the third. He's 11. There's Wells. She's 9. And Cortland, who's 7.
Okay. Did you and your family participate in activities together with your family, alone, and with Meredith's family?
We did.
Could you give the jury some idea of what kind of things you all did family-wise?
Well,
We're hitting the pause button on this testimony. Bud Ackerman in his own words. You won't miss a moment of it. We have it after this break. Marie Pereira is sticking around. Watch here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
You know what I love about Quick Hit Slots? It's the mobile slots game that gives you those authentic Vegas thrills. Quick Hit Slots has all the games you know and love. And best of all, the jackpot. Download Quick Hit Slots for free and get a 6 million coin bonus. Make every day a winning day.
I was drowning in debt.
I didn't even know how I was going to buy food for my kids.
I had over $36,000 in debt. If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get out of debt myself.
I picked up the phone and called National Debt Relief. They were my savior.
Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief negotiates with your creditors to reduce the amount you owe.
National Debt Relief was able to reduce my debt by over $21,000.
From the minute I made the call to National Debt Relief, I felt immediate relief. They had a plan for me.
They treated me like a real person, not a number.
It really was a team working with me.
National Debt Relief negotiated with all of my creditors and reduced the amount that I owe. And I'm now debt-free.
If you owe more than $10,000, call or visit nationaldebtrelief.com to find out how you can become debt-free.
Pretty Litter was the one that changed my world when it comes to cats.
My house never smells like cat litter. I don't have to worry about, if he's sick or not because I could tell by the color of the health monitor. Because Pretty Litter changed colors, I was able to get my cat Larry to the vet and get him the help that he needed.
My favorite part about having it delivered, it's convenient, it's there when I need it.
It's different than any litter I've ever seen or used, which is why I love it.
So give it a try. Visit prettylitter.com today.
Honey, you were so right. I listed this in less than a minute.
I told you listing on Poshmark was quick and easy.
Oh, I sold my black tote and my slip dress. Let's go get mani-pedis.
Ooh, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Poshmark.
Want extra cash? It's easy with the Poshmark app. Download to start selling today.
Are you 50 or over? Let's take a ride and talk with some folks about the AARP Auto Insurance Program from the Hartford. So, pal, how'd it feel to turn 50?
I feel great. My family threw me a party. We celebrated.
Well, I hope you celebrated by switching to the Hartford. Then you know that the Buck's got your back.
The Buck?
The Hartford Buck. With the Hartford, you get great savings and exclusive benefits.
Wow. Is that for people over 50?
Yep.
That means me now.
That means you, man. That's why you're driving with me. AARP members 50 and over get rewarded with benefits like accident forgiveness, which means if you get in an accident, the Hartford has your back.
That sounds great.
And your deductible, James, decreases every year you're accident-free with disappearing deductible.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
My head just exploded. That's for me. Sign me up.
To get your free quote, call the Hartford today at 1-800-684-2719. You could save hundreds of dollars.
Then you kind of strike me as a smart shopper.
I think I am.
Yeah?
At least I try to be a smart shopper.
So you like to save?
Oh, gosh. Who doesn't like to save?
Well, switching to the Hartford can save you hundreds. AARP members who switched to the Hartford saved an average of $577.
That's quite a savings.
96% of customers recommend the Hartford to friends and family.
I think I'll do just the same.
I can count on it?
Oh, you can count on it.
Join the millions of drivers 50 and over who switched to the AARP Auto Insurance Program from The Hartford. Not an AARP member? The Hartford can help you join in minutes. To get your free no-obligation quote and see how much you could save, call The Hartford at 1-800-684-2719. 1-800-684-2719 or visit trusthartford.com. The Bucks got your back.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott. Of course, honored to be with you. We are in South Carolina this afternoon for the jealous husband murder trial for Bud Ackerman. And just moments ago, I almost can't believe it, Ackerman elected to take the stand in his own defense. We've talked a lot about it with viewers. Some say yes, some say no. Well, he's decided he will testify. He is accused, of course, of fatally striking his estranged wife's new boyfriend with his truck after the two had agreed to meet up to talk. But Ackerman's defense says he did not hit him intentionally. Let's go right back in now for more of Bud Ackerman's direct examination.
Every year we would go on a vacation to the beach with her family and our family included.
Yeah, I'm going to move this a little.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, let me just, And was that with you and Meredith and the children?
That's correct.
And on occasion, did you have vacation with your parents?
Every now and again, but Meredith's family lived out of town, so we didn't see them very much, as opposed to my family where we saw a good bit, so we didn't go on vacation with my family as much.
Okay, and did you go on vacation with Meredith's family?
We did, yes, sir.
And where was she from?
Anderson.
And what kind of activities did you do with her family? If you could give us a kind of a short ideas about that.
Just went to, the beach, mostly, different places, different areas. We've been to Fripp Island and then to Florida and to a couple of other places as well.
Okay. At some point, did you and Meredith separate?
We did.
And to the best of your recollection, when was that?
May of 2022.
Okay. And let me ask you this, was that something that you wanted?
No, not particularly at the time, no, sir.
Okay. What was your attitude at that point about separating, and what did you want to do?
I wanted to try to reconcile with her. We actually went to counseling for a little while that summer after we separated.
Okay. So this was not an act on your part that you wanted to separate?
No, sir, that's correct.
Excuse me. Now, at some point, did you have a hearing sometime when after Meredith decided she wanted to separate?
Yes, sir.
In the family court in Greenwood County?
Yes, sir.
And what was the purpose of that hearing?
It's kind of a mediated separation.
Okay. And at that point, what was the arrangement about the house?
She was granted the house.
All right. And custody?
Custody, she had custody and I had visitation.
What visitation did you have? What kind of visitation?
Every other weekend and every Wednesday.
Okay. After Meredith was awarded the house or the mediation, where did you go to live?
I went to live with my parents.
And where did they live?
On 1714 Old Abbeville Highway.
So, and did you move into their home about that same time after the hearing?
That's correct.
What was your understanding of the legal status at that time after the hearing?
That we were just separated for a year separation before the divorce could be finalized.
Did you still believe that you were married?
I did.
Did you ever understand that there's some kind of term called legal separation?
I did not.
Was your understanding of separate maintenance?
Okay. Rephrase.
Yes, sir. What was your understanding about the at that time about what your status was with Meredith?
We were still married.
Let me ask you something. After that hearing, what was your expectations about whether or not Meredith would be dating or not?
I didn't think that she would.
What was your expectations and your plan about your dating?
I did not.
Did you ever date?
I did not.
Okay. I just want to go into briefly your work history, okay? What kind of work you did in the past, okay? So what is the best, what's the first job that you recall or business that you went into?
The collision repair industry, well, better known as a body shop where you repair vehicles.
Who owned the body shop?
John Ellenwine did at the time when I worked there.
Okay, so you worked for him?
I did.
And where was that?
It was on 25 across from the Bilo in Greenwood.
And what was your responsibilities there at that employment?
A little bit of everything. I mean, I did bookkeeping, secretarial work, ordering parts, dealing with customers, dealing with insurance agencies, dealing with employees, you know, pretty much everything.
Was it a pretty busy shop?
It was.
And how long did you work there?
I worked there initially for about 7 years, and then I left. I left and did home inspections for about a year, and then when I left and the home inspections, that's when I went back to school for a couple of years, and then I initially went back to the body shop business, where I took over in 2013 and owned and operated it until 2020, March 2020.
So you said you did some home inspections?
Yes, sir.
Did you receive any training for that?
Yeah, they just had a South Carolina inspector's exam, and you had to take a class in order to...
What did that involve?
Just going in homes where people are purchasing houses, and you go in there and do inspections on the homes to inform the customer of any defects or problems with the house.
Okay. So you did that for a period of time?
Yes, sir.
And then you said you went back into the business?
Yes, sir.
And was it the business you had been working at, or did you set up your own shop?
It was the same one I've been working at, but I eventually bought out the owner in 2013.
Okay. So in 2013, it was your business at that point?
That's correct.
And were you doing the same things in your business that you had done previously, or were you doing additional things?
Well, I mean, I guess I had the weight of the ownership on my shoulders, but I was doing pretty much the same thing.
Okay. Did you do any body work or mechanical work?
No, I mean, body work, a little bit of body work, yes, sir.
But basically running the business?
That's correct.
Okay. And you said you worked there or had that business until 2020?
That's correct.
During that period of time, were your 3 children born?
They were.
And were your 3 children being educated in Greenwood County?
That's correct. My son went to 96 Elementary for a year, but that only lasted a year, and then he came back to Greenwood District 50.
Okay. And what about the other children? Were they also being educated in Greenwood County?
That's correct.
So in 2020, you got out of the auto business, that auto repair business, and then what did you do?
Then I went and worked in Anderson for almost a year.
And who were you working for in Anderson?
For myself.
Okay. And what were you doing?
Installing like boat covers and...
I'm sorry?
Boat covers.
Okay.
And
boat covers?
Yeah, boat covers and jet ski docks, things of that nature.
Okay. Were you still living in Greenwood?
I was.
And at what address do you remember you were living at during that period of time?
The 115 Tallyho Drive.
And when did you move into 115 Tallyho Drive?
Fall of 2017, I believe it was.
Okay. Did you ever move to Anderson County?
No, sir.
Did you commute back and forth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After 2020, did you engage in any other business?
Yes, sir.
Other than what you were talking about in Anderson?
Yeah, what I do after that, I went and worked for Anderson Construction for a little over a year.
And who owned Anderson Construction Firm?
Kenny Anderson.
Pardon?
Kenny Anderson.
And what relation, was that a relation to Meredith?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
And where was that?
In Greenwood.
Okay. And what was that, what kind of work did you do there?
Just basically maintaining vacant lots, a bunch of bush hog work and tree work.
Was it, are you saying like landscaping or something?
Yeah, just kind of on a larger scale.
Were you working for somebody or was it your own business?
I was working for somebody.
And who is that?
Kenny Anderson.
King, oh, that's who you, okay.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. And how long did you do that?
For a little over a year.
And from there, did you have any other employment?
Yes, sir. I went and worked. I was currently employed at Share Body Shop in Lawrence, South Carolina, back in the body shop industry.
Okay. And were you working for somebody at that point, or was it your own business?
I was working for somebody.
And what did you do there?
I wrote estimates and order parts and, you know, kind of day-to-day operation type things.
Was that similar to the employment you had before?
Yeah, except I just didn't have the stress of owning the business.
Okay. And that what you said was in Lawrence?
That's in Lawrence, yes, sir.
Did you commute to Lawrence, or did you move to Lawrence?
I commuted.
All right. Were you still living at Tally Ho?
Yes, sir. No, I wasn't. I was living in my parents' house at this time.
Okay, so this is after the separation?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you know, let me, so after the separation, I think you said, and I don't, you tell me, that you were still in love with your wife.
I was.
You did not want the separation.
I did not.
Okay. And what were your hopes about the separation as far as getting back with Meredith, if any?
I was hoping to reconcile initially, you know.
Okay. That was your goal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you communicate that to her?
Yes, sir.
Were you ordered by the family court to go ahead and make any kind of payments, child support or anything like that?
Yes, sir. I had to make child support payments every week.
And were you doing that?
Yes, sir.
Were you complying with the court order?
I was, yes, sir.
I just want to ask you, was there anything in that court order about allowing the two of you to date?
No, sir, not that I'm aware of.
Let me go to May 6th, okay? Well, let me ask you this. Prior to May 6th, and I think on or about April 29th, did you know Davis McClendon?
I did.
And what was the background and your knowledge of David McClendon?
We were just acquaintances. I mean, known each other for a long time. I mean, not super close or super friendly, but I mean, always talked to each other if we saw each other out in public.
Now, was he younger than you or older than you?
He was older than me.
Do you know about how much?
Roughly 5 years.
Okay. Did you have any problem with Davis McClendon?
No, sir.
All right. And on or about April 29th, did you find out that Meredith was seeing Davis McClendon?
I did.
All right. And did you find that out from a third-party source?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you talk to Meredith about it?
I did, through text message.
What did you express when you talked to her about the fact that she was seeing somebody?
I mean, I just expressed that I wasn't, you know, happy about it. It was just kind of upsetting emotionally to me.
Pardon?
All right, here you're getting it straight from the defendant's mouth, his version of what happened, and testifying that, yeah, he knew the victim in this case. He was an acquaintance with him and then found out in May of 23 before this incident that he found out his wife was dating him. All right, stay tuned. We're going to hit the pause button to find out what else he has to tell us. We'll be right back.
Tonight, on Closing Arguments, more than 30 years after Eric and Lyle Menendez killed their parents, new evidence has come to light. We're breaking down what it could all mean for the Menendez brothers.
Closing Arguments, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
A 17-year-old boy charged with killing 2 people during a chaotic protest.
I intended to stop the people who were attacking me.
Victim to Verdict with Ted Rollins. All new Sunday night, 8/7 Central.
Only on Court TV.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us. Woo! Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have flip phones like the Iris Flip. If you're someone that doesn't need all that mumbo-jumbo and just wants something simple. And now, we even have watches.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our SmartFlex feature, you don't have to sweat it. Like say you're on a road trip out west and end up using a bunch of data. We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty. So you only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Will our award-winning customer service help me switch over or add a line for $15 to make my own family plan?
Of course they will.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
You see that tower out there? It's a beauty. And there are thousands more like it, working hard for me and you, supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We know how important coverage is. That's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
New customers save $50 when you sign up today. Call 1-800-918-5644. Find us in Target or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Mom, we really need to get that life insurance.
I know, it's just a lot.
Did someone say life insurance?
Introducing Evie for Ethos.
Let's make this easy. In just 10 minutes, Ethos can help you protect your family's future for as little as $10 a month.
But the medical exams are invasive, right?
You won't feel a thing because there aren't any. Go to ethoslife.com, answer a few health questions, and you can get same-day coverage up to $2 million.
Ethos. Life insurance so easy it feels like magic. Get a quote in seconds at ethoslife.com.
At Bombas, we dream of comfort, movement, softness. We believe your basic things should be your very best things, which is why we make the most comfortable socks in the history of feet. Slippers you'll float in, and underwear and tees that feel like clouds. No, bunnies. As always, one purchased equals one donated. Bombas. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
This is the story of the one. The one knows that when the big game is days away, the unexpected can put everything on the line. But with a solid game plan and a teammate like Granger that she can rely on to deliver the product she needs when she needs it, she's confident that she will always win the day. And her team will do the same. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, how goes it?
Well, I'm getting a new car.
Yeah, I've been contemplating the same.
Carvana's convenient.
Appreciate the tip.
Yeah, anytime. How's it going over there?
Hey, buy that car yet?
Be here Thursday. You?
It's a question for a more decisive me. Maybe I need to think about it more.
I believe in you.
You can do this. Come on. Definitely a no-brainer.
Wow, decisive.
Yeah, that was same-day delivery.
Well, it only took you a few days.
I know.
However you buy your car with Carvana.
Now back to South Carolina for the jealous husband murder trial. Defendant Bud Ackerman is accused of fatally striking his estranged wife's new boyfriend with his truck back in May of last year. Right now, we are hearing from Bud Ackerman himself. He elected to testify as he is telling the jury his side of the story about what happened that night. This is direct examination by the defense. He just said that in May of 2023, he found out that his wife was dating the victim. Let's go back in.
Correct.
And did she have any comments at that point about her dating anybody?
Chance to hearsay.
Well, wouldn't she testified already, Your Honor? It wouldn't be hearsay.
I'll allow it.
Can you repeat the question?
Did she have any comments about the dating issue with Davis McClendon or anybody else?
No. I'm not sure I understand the question.
What was her attitude about seeing Davis McClendon?
Oh, she was fine with it. She thought there was nothing wrong with it.
And you specifically discussed that with her?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As a result of finding out that she was seeing Davis McClendon, did you call Davis McClendon on or about April 29th, 2023?
I did, yes, sir.
Okay. And what was the purpose of that phone call?
Just to let him know that, I didn't appreciate, what he was doing behind my back with my wife, and that let him know, we were still legally married, by paper. And then, the end of the conversation, he agreed to stay physically away from her until the divorce was finalized.
Yeah, it goes to his state of mind.
From him and the others. Okay. Repeat your question, and then let me hear that answer again, please.
The question was the discussion you had with Davis McClendon on or about April 29th about seeing Meredith.
All right. And you're saying what was told to him, you're saying it's not hearsay, state of mind?
Yeah, it's not offered for the truth of the matter asserted, and it goes to his state of mind. And also Davis McClendon's state of mind. Okay. So it would be an exception to the hearsay rule.
Okay, I'll allow it, overruled. You want to repeat your answer?
Both hearsay. What he's saying now is an out-of-court statement in the truth, and what he's saying back. That was my objection for the record.
Okay, so noted.
Go ahead.
You can repeat your answer or give an answer to the question.
Okay. Yes, I did call him and let him know that, I didn't appreciate what he was doing behind my back with my wife, and that we were still legally married, on paper. And, by the end of the conversation, it was a civil conversation that he agreed that he would stay away from her physically until the divorce was finalized.
Okay, all right.
Same reason,
I do,
Your Honor.
that last statement, that I do find that as hearsay, and strike it from the record, instruct the jury to disregard that last statement as testified to by Mr. Ackerman. I think it goes beyond state of mind.
Your Honor, if I can, for the record, just also state it was unavailable. He's an unavailable witness.
I understand that. May proceed.
Now, so as a result of that conversation, what did you think the current situation was going to be between Davis and McClendon and Meredith?
According to the result
of the
conversation, I thought that they would not be interacting with each other until the divorce was finalized.
Were you angry with him?
No.
Was he angry with you?
No, not on the phone.
Okay. Was it a civil conversation?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Now, let's go to, did you have any conversations with him between April 29th and May 6th?
No, sir, I did not.
All right. On May 6th, where were you living?
At my parents' house.
All right. And were the children with you that weekend?
They were, yes, sir.
All right. And they were staying at your parents' house as well?
That's correct.
Okay. Are they close to your parents?
Yes, sir. They're real close to my parents.
Okay. Do they have their own rooms at your parents' house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do you recall? Did you do anything with your children that day?
Yes, sir. We went to a little festival in Abbeville where they had little rides and stuff for kids and did that. And then came back from there and went to a friend's house and grilled out hot dogs and ate that for dinner.
Did you, who was that person?
Bobby Scott.
Okay. And so did he went to Abbeville with you?
That's correct.
And during the time that you were in Abbeville, did you have communications with Meredith on the phone?
I just texted her a picture of the kids on a ride.
Okay. No conversation, just texting her the picture, but not a conversation.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And do you remember about what time you left the fair, went to Bobby Scott's house?
I'd say around 3:30, somewhere around there.
Okay. And what did you do at Bobby Scott's house?
Well, the kids were just playing. They got a lot of friends in his neighborhood right there. They were just playing and riding bikes, and then we ended up grilling hot dogs and eating over there that evening.
All right. Now, where did Bobby Scott live?
In Hunters Creek.
Okay. And What subdivision was your home in at that time?
Hunters Creek.
Okay. Did you live near each other?
No, on the opposite sides of the neighborhood.
Is Hunters Creek the subdivision we've been talking about for the last week or so?
That's correct.
Okay. And is that the area where this incident happened?
That's correct.
Okay. So that's Hunter Creek subdivision?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how do you get into Hunters Creek subdivision from where your parents' home is?
Come right off the old Abbeville Highway and turn on the Rivers Run.
Okay. And where would you go to get to your place? How would you go to your place?
Generally speaking, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, was it close to Rivers Run, or you don't have to go through street by street, but how far was it from Rivers Run and Avid Road?
A couple of miles at the most.
Okay. So is it a fairly large subdivision?
That's correct.
Okay. And during the period of the day, did you have anything to eat?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you have a beer or two?
Yeah, a couple of drinks.
All right. When you say drinks, was it beer or liquor?
Beer.
Okay. And do you recall how many beers you had during the course of the day?
Around two.
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 And you also ate, you said, hot dogs?
Yes, sir.
All right. About what time did you and Bobby Scott separate, and then where did you go?
It's probably around 7:30, 7:45, something like that. And then we went back to my kids and I went back to my parents' house.
Okay. And do you recall how long you were at your parents' house?
I was there till, I'm not sure exact times.
Well, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, I can't say for sure.
Did there come a time when you left your parents' house?
It did, yes, sir.
All right. And let me ask you this. Were you trying to, at some point after your parents' house or thereafter, were you trying to reach your wife?
I was.
All right. And were there a number of phone calls during that evening?
Yes, sir, there was.
Okay. Do you know how many? I
can't tell you offhand.
Would you disagree that there were several phone calls in the early evening?
No, sir.
All right.
All right, he is testifying about what happened on May 6th. We know this incident happened on May 7th, so he's leading up, telling his story, the narrative. Let me bring in criminal defense attorney Marie Pereira and trial attorney Kelly Hyman. Wonderful to have you both for an in-studio Girl Power Hour about this case. Let me start with you, Kelly. What do you think of his testimony so far?
He's coming across as very likable, very sincere. Asking him questions about his life, what he did for a living. So you get to really know him, get to know the man that's being charged with this serious crime. And now they're walking through the day of the incident and what exactly happened. He's doing a great job.
What do you think, Marie, keeping in mind that he admits that on April 29th, he did call the victim and said, it's not appropriate, stay away from my wife until we're divorced?
I think he's coming across very likable. He humanized himself, and he really looks rather pitiful. That works for him. He already said he's a nursing school dropout. He went into the collision business. That didn't work out. He did home inspections, but he did everything. He took care of his family. He was paying child support, and he got separated. And he thought the separation would be something they could work out, and then all of a sudden she starts dating someone he knew, and he respectfully called to say, man, leave my wife alone. Give us a chance. And then that was that. But I feel bad for him so far, and it works. Because you always want to humanize yourself.
Yeah, if you feel bad for him especially. And we know, the other part of this is he said that conversation was civilized. And the other thing I want to mention and talk to you about, Kelly, is the fact that, I'm a little surprised he's up there on the stand, because it's one thing to tell your story on direct examination when you've been prepared. It's a whole nother thing to be cross-examined about all these details.
I am completely shocked. Ultimately, it's going to be his decision. His attorney can advise him, don't take the witness stand, do take the witness stand, right? And some of the benefits of him taking the witness stand is a jury gets to hear his side of the story, gets to see how he is, gets to see how he reacts towards it as well. Now, the flip side is the cross-examination, and that's when defense counsel is really going to come in, poke holes in it, try and, as we say, goat him to show that he was really upset and that he really intended to kill him, and try and get something that they can use in their closing arguments about him.
Really really quickly, Marie, before break, do you think that they're going to be effective on Cross, getting him to change his demeanor and get upset?
No, I think he's going to remain pitiful Bud, and he's going to touch the hearts of the jury, and they're going to say he was wronged.
Wow. All right, viewers, please let us know what you think of his testimony so far. We've hit the pause button. When we come back, of course, we'll take you back in so you do not miss any of what he has to say. Stay tuned.
Ready to party? I'm talking about Jackpot Party, the leading free-to-play mobile slots game that always gives you more. Download Jackpot Party for free and get a 45 million coin bonus. Jackpot Party, a party in every spin.
You just got text now. Phone service with talk, text, and data for essential apps, all for free. It's magic. It's not magic. Text now saves you money. Download now.
You'll find them in cities, towns, and suburbs all across America. Millions of Americans who have Medicare and Medicaid but may be missing benefits they could really use. Extra benefits they may be eligible to receive at no extra cost. And if you have Medicare and Medicaid, you may be able to get extra benefits too through a Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan. Call now to see if you qualify. With the Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan, you could have doctor, hospital, and prescription drug coverage in one convenient plan. Plus, most plans include the Humana Healthy Options Allowance to help pay for essentials like eligible groceries, utilities, rent, and more. Your allowance is conveniently loaded onto a prepaid card each month, and whatever you don't spend gets carried over to the next month. Plus, you could get other important benefits. Most plans include dental coverage with $0 copays for covered preventive services, vision coverage, including eye exams and a yearly allowance for eyewear, even hearing benefits with routine hearing exams and coverage toward hearing aids. And you could pay nothing for covered prescriptions all year long. You'll also get $0 copays for routine vaccines and telehealth visits. And you'll have access to Humana's multiple large plan networks of doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies. Best of all, if you have Medicare and Medicaid, you may be eligible to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan right now. So if you have Medicare and Medicaid, call now to see if there's a plan in your area that could give you extra benefits. A knowledgeable licensed Humana sales agent will explain your coverage options, even help you enroll over the phone. It's that easy. Call today and we'll also send this free guide. But now is the time. The annual enrollment period ends December 7th. Humana, a more human way to health care.
Dad, are you certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters, like the certainty of 4imprint, your home for high-quality promotional gear, including exclusive items and brands they love. Printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time. To wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team, check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain. Pretty Litter was the one that changed my world when it comes to cats.
My house never smells like cat litter. I don't have to worry about, if he's sick or not because I could tell by the color of the health monitor. Because Pretty Litter changed colors, I was able to get my cat Larry to the vet and get him the help that he needed.
My favorite part about having it delivered, it's convenient, it's there when I need it.
It's different than any litter I've ever seen or used, which is why I love it.
So give it a try. Visit prettylitter.com today.
What will you do when the power goes out? Power outages can be unpredictable and inconvenient, but with a Generac home standby generator, your life goes on uninterrupted because you'll have power when you need it the most.
The number one thing to prepare for is extended power outages. Don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
And special financing and low monthly payment options are available. Call or go online now to request your free quote. Power your life with Generac.
Before we get you back to court, new developments in the case of P. Diddy. Court TV has just confirmed that the family of Tupac Shakur is investigating a potential link between his murder and Sean Diddy Combs. This coming from attorney Alex Spiro, who represents Tupac's family. The investigation was previously reported by unnamed sources, but earlier today, Spiro confirmed that he and a team of investigators have been hired. Sean Combs allegedly had business dealings with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who will go on trial next March for the murder of Tupac back in 1996. Some have speculated that Diddy is the one who ordered Tupac's death. That, of course, is just a theory at this point, but we are monitoring the developments in both the Tupac murder trial and the federal indictment of Sean Diddy Combs. We'll bring you any updates on that as soon as we learn any. But let's return now to South Carolina, where the defendant, William Bud Ackerman, is testifying in his own defense after being accused of murdering his ex-wife's new boyfriend. We're going to take you right back in for more of his direct examination by the defense.
Talked to her, she wouldn't talk to me. She had tried to basically cut off all communication with me, and I was just upset and wanted to talk to her.
How did you feel about the fact that her reaction to the separation was to just basically cut off communication, not answer your phone call?
It was upsetting.
Pardon?
It was upsetting.
You had been married at that point, what, like 11 years?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. Had 3 children?
That's correct.
And loved her?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever express the fact to her during this period of time that you did love her?
Oh, yes.
And you did not want to separate? Did you ever express or not that you did not want to separate?
Yes, sir.
So that evening, did there come an occasion when you left your parents' home?
There did, yes, sir.
And where did you go, to the best of your knowledge?
I went to the gas station to stop a minute, and then I went to Key West Club.
Okay. Had you been to the Key West Club before?
Before that evening?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Okay. And how far is the Key West Club from your home or your parents' home?
5, 6 miles, 8 miles, somewhere around in there.
Okay. Do you know about what time you got to the Key West Club?
I'm not sure of the exact time, 10:30, somewhere around there maybe.
Okay. Were you aware that your wife was with Davis McClendon that evening?
I wasn't aware. I just had suspicions about it.
Okay. But it was a suspicion, not an actual knowledge.
I didn't know for sure, no.
Okay. And after you got to the Key West Club, did you continue to try and reach Meredith Ackerman?
I did.
Okay. And again, what was the purpose of the phone calls?
I just wanted to talk to her, just to talk to her about us, about our relationship at that time,
Okay. And did she answer any of the calls?
She did. She answered a couple of them.
Did she call you on occasion during that evening?
No, sir.
That you could recall?
No, sir.
Okay. And the nature of your conversation with her was what?
Just I wanted to see her, that I didn't understand why she was, avoiding me and doing this to me, basically just cutting me off from any communication to her.
The best you can, would you describe your emotional state about this?
Yeah, I mean, I was emotionally upset about it, that's for sure.
Okay. During that evening, did you find out whether or not she was with Davis McClendon?
Yeah, later on I did when he called me.
Okay. But prior to that, were you aware of that?
No, sir.
Okay. And during that period of time, how long do you think that you were at the Key West Club?
A couple of hours.
Okay. Did you have a beer there?
I did.
Do you know how many beers you had, if any?
I'm not sure. A couple.
Okay. At any time that evening, did you feel like you were impaired at all?
No, sir.
Did you feel like you were under the influence at all?
No, sir.
All right. And let me ask you something. You mentioned that, did you go to any other club that night?
I didn't go inside any other clubs that night, no, sir.
Okay. Now, did you try and find locate where Meredith was?
I did, yes, sir.
And what did you do to try and find that out?
I went by her house, and then I went from her house to Break on the Lake, and then, I'm sorry.
Pardon?
To Break on the Lake, and then to Port Bar and Grill.
Okay. Did you go and Break in the Lake or the Bar and Grill?
I didn't, no, sir.
Okay. Did you ride around to those areas?
I drove around the parking lot at Sports Break twice.
Okay. Did you see her there?
I did not. It was way past closing time.
Did you call her several more times during that period of time?
Yes, sir.
And the purpose of looking for her and the purpose of your telephone calls to her were what?
Just to talk. Just wanted to meet with her and talk.
And that's all you wanted to do?
That's correct.
So other than going to, was the purpose in going to the two places you mentioned to look for Meredith?
Objection. That's correct.
All right. Rephrase. What, if any, purpose did you have in going to the two bars?
To look for Meredith.
And did you see her?
No, sir, I did not.
And what was, again, during that period of time, what was the purpose of your trying to call her?
Just to get in touch with her, to talk to her.
At some point during the evening, sometime in the neighborhood, and this is in evidence, at around 12:51 and 15 seconds, did you receive a call from Davis McClendon?
I did.
Now, did you call him that evening?
I did not.
And had you called him since April 29th?
I did not.
Was this had you already found out that Meredith was with Davis McClendon at that time?
I didn't know that prior to his call.
Okay. So during the phone call that you got from Davis McClendon, the record shows that's an exhibit, that was a 2-minute and 16-second call.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
That's correct.
As far as you know.
As far as I know, that's what it shows.
Are you aware of the fact that he had tried to call you shortly before that as well, and it was a missed call?
Yes, sir.
Did you know that at that time?
Yes, sir.
Did you answer the phone?
I did not.
Did you answer this call?
I did.
All right. And tell the jury what the nature of this phone call was.
Well, this call was just, he said that he was trying to be patient.
He called you.
That's correct. And he said he was trying to be patient.
Hearsay. Well, Your Honor, it goes to McClendon's state of mind, and it goes to his state of mind as to what happened later in the evening. And it's also an unavailable witness under the hearsay rules.
Okay. Well, unavailability in and of itself is not an exception to hearsay. Let's do this. I want to hear Mr. Ackerman completely as to this conversation, and I can't make a proper ruling until I hear that. Therefore, I'm going to have to ask the jury to go back to the jury room. Hopefully it won't be long, and we'll get you back out.
All right, we need to take a break. What just happened is he was about to say something that the judge has to hear to determine whether or not it is hearsay or falls within the exception. The way a judge does that is sends the jury out to listen to it. We'll take a break and go back in to hear what that testimony is.
Sarah Boone is charged with second-degree murder after her boyfriend suffocated inside of a suitcase.
He's in the suitcase still.
There are multiple domestic violence incidents.
You two hitting each other. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it up.
He told you, Sarah, I can't breathe. George Torres locked inside of a suitcase, begging for help.
I thought he was okay.
The Suitcase Murder Trial. Live coverage starting Monday morning, 8/7 Central on Court TV.
I can't get a hold of my mom.
I'm sure it's nothing.
I've called her 5 times.
I'm sure she's fine.
Is Grandma okay? Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, ma'am. We're sending help right now.
Hello?
Hello, this is Life Alert. Your mother had an emergency, and we dispatched paramedics to her home.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
She had a fall, but don't worry. She is safe, and the paramedics are helping her right now.
Thank you.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes. With one simple touch of a button, Life Alert sends help immediately. Whether it's to report a fall, a medical emergency, or an intruder, Life Alert sends first responders fast.
For a free brochure, call 800-765-1913. 800-765-1913. That's 800-765-1913.
It's party time. I'm talking about Jackpot Party, the leading free-to-play mobile slots game that always gives you more. Download Jackpot Party for free and get a 45 million coin bonus. Jackpot Party, a party in every spin.
These men of means with their silver spoons, what would become of them when they discover Robinhood Gold allows others to earn their very liberal rates on idle cash? They would descend into chaos.
Hi, I'm John.
Hey, I'm Janine.
I'm Steve, and I've been a Consumer Cellular customer for 8 years.
3 years.
11 years.
When they asked me if I want to be in a testimonial commercial,
I said sure.
I said sure. I said sure.
but I got a tournament to get ready for.
Not if the fish are biting. But it's a beautiful day. We started looking for another provider primarily because we felt like we were paying way too much.
I chose to switch because of the savings. It was amazing. Way cheaper than where I was.
I could hardly believe that my bill was so small. I'm paying less than $30 a month. It's a great service for a great price.
Unlimited talk and text with flexible data plans starting at $20. Plus, for a limited time, new customers save $50 when you sign up today.
The place that I live in is heavily forested. There's a lot of trees. What got me to be a customer, really, to tell you the truth, was the reception and the coverage of Consumer Cellular.
I travel a lot. I need coverage, no matter where I am. And so whether I'm in Augusta, Georgia, or Pebble Beach, California, I know that I'm going to be covered with Consumer Cellular.
I love to go far away places, remote places. I haven't had trouble with coverage, no direct calls.
Consumer Cellular offers fast, reliable nationwide coverage. Plus, for a limited time, new customers save $50 when you sign up today.
When we switched over from Verizon to Consumer Cellular, it was a really painless process.
Just kept the same phone. I kept the same number.
Anytime I call customer service, it's U.S.-based.
It's nice to know when I have an issue that I can have a real conversation.
Customer service has been great. I just get a bill at the end of the month. It's on auto pay, and it's super easy. And as AARP members, we also get a nice discount.
That's right. AARP members receive a 5% discount. Make the switch now to the most awarded brand by J.D. Power. New customers save $50 when you sign up today.
Call 800-664-3547.
Or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
A South Carolina courtroom is hearing key testimony in the jealous husband murder trial. Defendant Bud Ackerman is on the stand testifying about the night he went looking for his wife and the hours leading up to the death of her new boyfriend. Right now, the jury is out of the courtroom. The defendant is proffering a part of his testimony to the judge. Let's go back in.
Okay, you can ask some questions, and let's get as specific and as detailed as we possibly can concerning this conversation that you had with Davis McClendon. Mr. Swirling may proceed.
Did he initiate that phone call?
He did.
And did you accept the phone call?
I did.
Is there a phone call in the record regarding that phone call?
There is.
All right. And at that time, the nature of the conversation was what?
He was trying to be, he called and said he was trying to be patient with me, and that I guess he was upset that I was trying to call Meredith so many times that evening to locate her. And then he got pretty aggressive with me on the phone, said he wanted to kick my ass. And I told him, I said, Davis, you know, if you want to talk about it, you can come to my house and we'll talk about it. And then there was some more rhetoric, you know, from him about, you know, how he was going to beat my scrawny ass and, you know, this, that, and the other. But I told him if he wanted to talk, he could come to my house and we could talk it out.
So what was your communication to him about? Was it talking?
That's correct.
You wanted to talk.
That's why I said meet at my house.
And what was he expressing to you, an aggressive tone?
He was.
All right. And were you clearly been able to identify his voice at that time?
Oh, yeah.
and I believe that is in the record at this point about that phone call. Did his communication with you affect the later events between yourself and him?
It did.
And was that something that led to what your state of mind was at this time?
I'm sorry.
Your state of mind. Did it lead to explaining what your state of mind was at that time?
Yes, sir.
And based upon the communication he had with you, do you believe he was expressing his state of mind at that time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Judge, I would submit that that's admissible under the hearsay rules. Present sense impression. It was a utterance of a declarant who's not available in court. There's an additional reliability, and the state has gone into these particular phone calls with the idea of it showing that he went there for purposes that they contend was to kill him.
Mr. Bettis? Your Honor, my understanding of the law is that state of mind is allowed, but not the reason for the state of the mind. He's clearly given the reason here, which I think State v. Weston. There's another case. It's what we argued with Brandon Smith, trying to get in that state of mind there when Davis was texting Brandon Smith saying, hey, can you call his daddy, Dr. Ackerman? He's out drunk hunting down Meredith. Meredith wants to call the cops. We don't want to do that. Can you kind of calm him down? That was objected to by the defense. We offered that as state of mind of the victim.
I didn't allow it in?
He didn't allow it in, yes, sir.
Judge, it was a little bit different, though, and if I could explain.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So we think this is the same thing. He's trying to go into the details. You know, I can say as a result of that phone call what you do, but not go into the details for the reason of the state of mind. I think we don't think that's an exception. State v. Weston, we would cite.
The communication that you kept out between him and Brandon Smith, I believe it was based upon knowledge would only be available to Davis McClendon through hearsay. And that was, I understand, the basis for keeping out because he did not have firsthand knowledge of that. So that would be why State versus Weston was appropriate under that particular circumstance.
And I respectfully disagree. He was there when the calls were coming in, and he was looking at them and watching them on the video. It showed her getting phone calls. So if I didn't argue that before, I'm sorry, but I think it's a very similar situation. That's all we have.
Let's take a 10-minute break, and I'm going to look at a couple things, and then I'll make my ruling.
Still with me, attorneys Marie Pereira, Kelly Hyman. All right, ladies, I would do that. If I were on the bench and had to think about it or look up some law, I'd say we're taking a recess, I'd go back, we'd figure it out, and then I'd come back and issue my ruling. Marie, what do you think? Do you think this is an exception and it should come in? Because there's some pretty good stuff for the defendant if it comes in.
It should be allowed in because depending on what was said to the defendant by the victim, it does create a state of mind. We don't even need to really say what was said. I think the way the defense attorney should have gone in to avoid all of this is to say, did you have a conversation with the victim? Yes. Who initiated it? The victim. And how did you feel after talking to the victim? I was afraid for my safety. That might have been enough.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, we know the jury's not in right now. We're waiting on the judge's ruling. Weigh in, Kelly, and what you think.
This is a key moment, and that's why the judge went back and is going to look at the case law and make sure that the judge makes the right decision, because potentially this could mean guilty or not guilty in this case. And so the judge is doing the right thing and making sure, because this is key testimony from the defendant.
It is key testimony, but let me push back a little bit, because even if the victim started this by doing this and saying this, I'm going to kick your you-know-what, come and meet me and let's do this, that doesn't mean the defendant had the right, Marie, to run over him with his truck.
It doesn't mean he had the right to run over him with his truck, but it could mitigate the situation and show that he had fear in his heart, because here I am meeting a man who's sleeping with my wife who says, you know, I'm tired of being, patient with you. That's my woman, and you need to stop calling her. I'm gonna kick your scrawny.
All right, Kelly, so if that happens, then is it a lesser, like a manslaughter versus a murder?
That
maybe.
could potentially be depending on the instructions they're given at the end and ultimately what the jury makes a determination based on the evidence presented to them. But that's a possibility.
That is a possibility. We don't know yet for sure whether or not lesser includeds are going to be given to the jury as jury instructions. That's yet to come. So there's a lot going on in this case, and I'm on the edge of my seat because I too am surprised that I find he's a little sympathetic, that I am leaning in to what he is saying happened.
This is true really quick because I'm not going to be on after 4. You see, Meredith was present during that phone call.
Okay, let me go back into court to hear the judge's ruling.
Back on the record, the text that I would not allow in, or the testimony concerning the text that I would not allow in, that was a text from Davis, correct? Refresh my memory on that, Mr. Meadows, Mr.
He was with Meredith, a text from Davis. That's correct. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Concerning the conversation that Mr. Ackerman had with Davis under 8033, I'm going to allow it in. Under state of mind, emotion, mental feeling of the declarant, i.e. Davis, I'm going to rescind my ruling and not allowing that testimony concerning the text from Davis, and I'm going to allow that evidence to come in. Because I consider both those to be very, very similar.
That would mean we'd have to call a witness in reply, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
As to that, letting that in, I just would like to state that that was a different situation. He had no first-hand knowledge of that. He was relying on what Meredith was telling him, and that was I believe, the basis of the objection, that it was, he did not have first-hand knowledge. It was based on hearsay.
Right, I understand. But again, I think it's close enough to where I'm going to rescind my ruling on that and allow it in. So, everybody's ready for the jury. Let's bring the jury out and continue with his testimony.
Coming up, Michael Ayala joining me for more testimony from defendant Bud Ackerman. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, you folks. Matt McCoy here to talk about the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford and why people love it so much. This is a good movie. Looks like it got a 94% thumbs up. Now, that's pretty high. Even that's less than the 96% of customers 50 and over who recommend the Hartford. In fact, 4 out of 5 AARP members who switched to the Hartford from companies like Allstate, State Farm, and Geico got a lower rate. And many of them saved hundreds on their auto insurance. Not an AARP member? Hey, not to worry. The Hartford can help you join in minutes.
To start saving on your insurance today, get your free quote by calling the Hartford at 1-800-418-5830 or visit trusthartford.com.
I hear this place is great. 90% of diners recommend it. That doesn't beat the 96% of customers who recommend the Hartford. You just can't beat benefits like disappearing deductible. Plus, they offer new car replacement.
New car replacement?
Yep, if your new car is totaled, the Hartford will pay the full replacement cost.
The camera on this phone is amazing.
It's only a 93% satisfaction rating, though. Still less than the Hartford. You know what else? You could save even more if you bundle home and auto. For the savings, benefits, and best-in-class claims experience you deserve, make the switch today.
Join the millions of drivers 50 and over who switch to the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford and get the savings you want and the award-winning claims experience you deserve. To get your free no-obligation quote and see how much you could save, call the Hartford at 1-800-418-5830 or visit trusthartford.com. The Bucks got your back.
Attention, anyone 50 or older. This is an important message for you.
Mom, I found this funeral bill for $10,000. How are we going to pay for that?
Before we lost your father, I set up a final expense life insurance plan for us to use to cover the funeral, debts, and other expenses.
How does the life insurance plan pay for all of that?
Easy. I qualified for $1 million in coverage. So when my time comes, you can use that money for my funeral and other expenses that I may leave behind.
How are you affording that on a fixed income?
Would you believe I qualified for a plan that costs less than $1 a day? I didn't have to go see a doctor, and all I had to do was make one phone call, and I was approved.
If you're over 50, you qualify for a life insurance policy up to $1 million to cover funeral, debts, and other expenses. The average funeral costs about $10,000, but now for just pennies a day, you can help protect your loved ones from unexpected costs and debts. With our guaranteed acceptance, you're automatically approved even if you have pre-existing health conditions. Best of all, your rates will never increase, your benefits will never decrease, and your coverage will never be canceled. There's no paperwork, hidden fees, or waiting period. With one call, in as little as 5 minutes, you can start your coverage right over the phone and qualify for options ranging between $10,000 up to $1 million in coverage, tax-free. You're just one phone call away from protecting your family, starting for less than $1 a day. Don't leave your family with bills to pay when you're gone. Give them the peace of mind they deserve. Call 800-483-7224 to make sure your loved ones are protected with plans up to $1 million in coverage.
Thank you for making sure that we're secure. I love you.
I love you too. I just want to make sure that you're protected when I'm gone.
Call 800-483-7224. That's 800-483-7224. Policy Fetch. Fetch your policy. Find your peace.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott.
And I'm Michael Ayala. We're both here today giving you your front row seat to justice. We're in South Carolina this afternoon for the jealous husband murder trial.
Prosecutors say that defendant Bud Ackerman drove around on the night of May 6th looking for his estranged wife who was out on a date with her new boyfriend.
Davis McClendon eventually agreed to meet up with Ackerman in a nearby subdivision, only to be fatally struck within minutes of arriving.
But Ackerman says he did not intentionally hit McClendon and, on the contrary, tried to swerve in order to avoid hitting him.
And right now, we are hearing from Bud Ackerman himself. He is on the stand testifying. Let's go back in now for more of his direct examination.
I believe we were talking about the phone call that you received from Davis McClendon at or about 12:51, which is in evidence.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
And would you describe the nature of the call and what was said?
Well, he called me and said he was trying to be patient with me, I guess referring to the amount of times I was calling Meredith that evening. And he got pretty aggravated, with me about it. Was being hostile and aggressive over the phone. Said he wanted to kick my ass and, meet up with me and kick my scrawny ass. And I told him that he could come to my house and we could talk about it if he wanted to.
Okay. So your reaction to that phone call was what?
I told him to come to my house so we could talk about it.
All right. And that was your parents' house?
That's correct.
Where your children were?
That's correct.
Okay. What, if any, thought did you have in your mind about a fight taking place?
Well, I knew he was aggravated, but I wasn't planning on fighting him.
Okay. At that time in May of 23, how tall were you?
Roughly 5'7", 5'8".
And how much did you weigh?
135 pounds.
Okay. Okay, fine. We'll just leave it at that. So that was at 12:51, 15 seconds. So the agreement was to meet where?
In my parents' house.
Okay. And about when? Was there a time given or?
I just told him I was on the way back home.
All right. And were you, in fact, on your way back home?
I was.
All right. And again, I just want to go back. Had you gone to some locations to see if you could find Meredith?
I did.
And again, the purpose of that was what?
Just to talk to her.
Now, at some point, did Davis McClendon call you again?
He did.
And the records that are in evidence in the case indicate it was at around 12:59.
That's what they show.
Okay. Do you recall that conversation?
I do.
And what was the nature of that conversation?
He wanted to, he called and asked my kids, and first he wanted to know where I was at, how close I was, and then he said, "Are your kids at the house?" Then he changed the location due to that to the Avid Sawgrass location.
Okay.
For me.
So he changed the location.
He did.
And that call indicates that it was about 1 minute and 6 seconds. Would you dispute that?
I would not.
What was your reaction to that?
I just told him that I was on the way, and I told him if that's where he wanted to meet me at, and that was fine.
All right. Did you anticipate at that point, based on that conversation, any difficulty or trouble with Mr. McClendon?
No, not at that point. He sounded like he calmed down on the phone.
And the Sawgrass and Avid Road, where this incident happened, how far is that from your parents' house?
Well, they said roughly a half a mile.
Okay. Take a couple of minutes to get there?
Yeah.
And did you agree to meet him there?
I did.
Now, at some point, did you have an occasion, and I believe the records reflect that you called Davis McClendon at about 1:09?
I did, yes, sir.
Do you recall that conversation?
I do.
What did you tell Mr. McClendon in the conversation you had subsequent to the call, the 2 calls that he had made?
I told him that I wasn't coming down there to meet him, that I had already gone back to my house and was turning it in for the night.
Okay. And what was his response to that?
And he had a few choice words about me going back to my mom and daddy's house.
Okay. Did he have some curse words for you?
He did.
Okay. Did he call you anything derogatory?
He did.
All right. So, as a result of that, did you head down toward Avis and Sawgrass?
Well,
Avid and Sawgrass.
not as a result of that conversation. We talked for a minute longer until I got him settled down, and by the end of the conversation, he agreed that he would just talk to me. I was under the impression that he was just going to talk to me when I went down there to meet him. So I agreed to meet him down there.
During that conversation, did his demeanor change?
It did.
And what were his plans? What did you understand his plans were?
Just to talk.
Okay. And when you went down in that direction, is that what you understood you were going to do?
That's correct.
Did you have any intention to hurt him?
I did not.
And at these phone calls, at least the last phone call, you were where at that time? What location?
I was at my parents' house.
All right. Let me just ask you this again. What was your sole purpose in agreeing to meet Davis McClendon?
To talk with him.
Now, when you go down out of your parents' house, do you make a right turn to get to that subdivision?
Yeah, you
River Run?
take a right out of my parents' house and then take a left on Rivers Run.
Okay. And is River Run, or Rivers Run, is that the entrance to the subdivision from the old Abbeville Highway?
That's correct.
And did you turn onto Avid Road?
I did.
Okay. Now, Avid Road, could you describe the topography of that? Is it a flat road or is it downhill road or what?
It's kind of a hilly road.
Pardon, hilly?
Hilly.
Okay. Were you familiar with the area?
I was.
So when you got on Avid Road and you were heading toward the end of the road, did you see headlights down there?
I did.
Other than seeing the headlights, could you make out anything? Was anything else visible?
No, sir, that was it.
At that point, when you got on Avid Road and were riding down Avid Road, could you even identify what type of car was there?
No, sir, I could not.
Were you able to look or see beyond what the vehicle was?
No, sir.
Were the headlights on when you were proceeding down Avid Road?
They were.
Is Avid Road a marked road? When I say marked, is it divided?
No, sir, it's not.
Okay. So going down Avid Road, do you have any idea what the speed was that you were going?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And as you approached, tell us about how far from, well, let me ask you this. How far do you think you were at the time that you saw that there was somebody standing in the road?
How far was I to where?
To the person, when you first saw that there's an individual standing outside.
I was at the very front of his vehicle.
Okay. Do you know how many feet it was?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So at some point you actually saw an image of somebody standing in a road.
I did.
Where was he? Near the car or in the middle of the road?
He was out in the road.
Okay. Were you able to discern whether or not he had his shirt on or not?
I noticed he didn't have his shirt on.
Okay. When you saw him in the middle of the road, if you had gone straight ahead.
Objection, he said in the middle. I didn't hear that testimony.
He just said it.
Yeah, he did.
Said in the middle.
That.
Okay.
But when he first saw him, he was in the middle of the road. He just said that.
Lost my train of thought. When you recognized that there was someone standing there, how did you go straight ahead to hit the person?
I did not.
Okay. How much time, reaction time, do you think you had from the time that you saw that there was somebody standing there in the middle of the road till there was impact?
It'd be hard to say, but a couple of seconds, at the most.
So you chose not to go straight ahead and hit the person?
That's correct.
Or did you choose not to hit the person?
That's correct.
Okay. What action did you take, if any, to avoid hitting the person?
I jerked my truck as hard as I could to the left to try to hit his car to stop the motion of my truck from going forward.
Now, when you're going down the road, to what side of the road were you on, the right or the left side?
Initially, I was on the right side of the road, but I crossed over the middle of the road to get closer to his car so I could pull up beside his car to speak with him.
That's what I was going to ask you. What was your intention when you got down there, to get out of the car or to talk with him?
I was going to pull up beside his vehicle to speak with him.
Okay. So that was your intent?
That's correct.
Okay. And then you saw somebody standing in the road. You've already testified that.
Yes, sir.
And there was a second or two until between that and the time you had the impact in the car.
That's correct.
Was there any reason for you to hit the car except to avoid contact with Davis McClendon?
Absolutely not.
Did you hit the car?
Oh, yeah.
And after you hit the car, do you know what speed you were going at that time?
I'm not sure.
Okay. What happened to your vehicle after you struck the car?
Really, I'm not sure it happened so fast, but I guess I lost control of the vehicle.
Did you hit the car going parallel to the car or angling into the car?
It's kind of like a slight angle into the vehicle.
And is that the damage done to that vehicle?
That's correct.
Woo, this is compelling testimony. Real quick, what do you think, Michael?
I think he's mirroring the testimony we heard from the expert, which is part of it. But at the end of the day, all this stuff about what the victim was doing and saying, I don't think it has anything to do with it, because he's claiming accident.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not about being afraid or anything like that. It's about it was an accident.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if I'm buying it, but I think he's doing a decent job.
I think he's doing a decent job as well. Before we head to a break, though, we want to remind you of two big trials beginning next week. In Georgia, the wife of a prominent attorney will be heading to trial on Monday for the death of her husband. Melody Ferris is accused of shooting her husband, Gary Ferris, inside their home and then burning his body.
And in Florida, the long-awaited trial for defendant Sarah Boone starts on Monday with jury selection. She's, of course, accused of zipping up her boyfriend in a suitcase and then leaving him there to die, all while filming the entire ordeal on her phone. We're going to have both of these trials starting on Monday right here on Court TV Live. We'll be right back.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, a music mogul now faces federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges. We have the very latest in the case against Sean Diddy Combs.
Closing Arguments, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
Sarah Boone is charged with second-degree murder after her boyfriend suffocated inside of a suitcase.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe. I thought he was okay.
The Suitcase Murder Trial. Live coverage starting Monday morning, 8, 7 Central on Court TV.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us. Woo! Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have flip phones like the Iris Flip. If you're someone that doesn't need all that mumbo-jumbo and just wants something simple. And now, we even have watches.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our SmartFlex feature, you don't have to sweat it. Like say you're on a road trip out west and end up using a bunch of data. We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty. So you only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Will our award-winning customer service help me switch over or add a line for $15 to make my own family plan?
Of course they will.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
You see that tower out there? It's a beauty. And there are thousands more like it, working hard for me and you, supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We know how important coverage is. That's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
New customers save $50 when you sign up today. Call 1-800-918-5644. Find us in Target or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Mom, we really need to get that life insurance.
I know, it's just a lot.
Did someone say life insurance? Introducing Evie for Ethos.
Let's make this easy.
In just 10 minutes, Ethos can help you protect your family's future for as little as $10 a month.
But the medical exams are invasive, right?
You won't feel a thing because there aren't any. Go to ethoslife.com, answer a few health questions, and you can get same-day coverage up to $2 million. Ethos. Life insurance so easy it feels like magic. Get a quote in seconds at ethoslife.com.
I'm Martha Stewart, and this is one of my new kittens. Of course, I want to give them the happiest, healthiest life possible, which is why I choose Pretty Litter. We love this litter because it's tough on odor and helps keep tabs on their health by changing color to show high, low, and typical pH levels. Pretty Litter is also low dust. And whether you're a new cat parent or a lifelong cat lover like me, this low-maintenance litter is the game changer. Try it today. Go to prettylitter.com.
What happens in Vegas stays. Well, not anymore. Play Quick Hit Slots, the free-to-play mobile slots game that everyone is playing from coast to coast. Download Quick Hit Slots for free and get a 6 million coin bonus. Make every day a winning day.
Before I found Poppy Lush, I would try on a million outfits to get ready. I love that these dresses have shapewear built in. It makes me feel so confident. Live Lush. Poppy Lush.
Many probiotics don't survive digestion. That means whatever you're taking for your gut probably isn't getting where it needs to go. Seed's DSO1 Daily Synbiotic is the 2-in-1 prebiotic and probiotic engineered to survive and formulated to reduce bloating and intermittent constipation in as little as 2 weeks. Get started today with Seed's DSO1 Daily Synbiotic. Visit seed.com to order now.
Before we get back to court, we have a quick update out of Florida in our newest live trial, the home renovation murder trial.
49-year-old Corey Benderum is accused of killing his client, Susan Malden.
Malden had hired Benderum in early 2019 to renovate her bathroom, but by October, the work wasn't completed, and she was telling friends that she was going to sue him in order to get her money back.
Now, Malden went missing shortly after, and 3 months later, her remains were found in a South Georgia landfill.
Earlier today, the jury heard from another client of Benderum's who testified she had a similar experience with Benderum being flaky and not finishing the work. Let's take a listen.
During the time that the defendant was working on your project, was he there every day he was supposed to be?
No.
No.
make excuses as to why he wouldn't be there?
Yes, there was many excuses. There was one time he said he had skin cancer, and the next day he had to go to Mayo Clinic to get a full body scan to make sure that he did not have any more.
Did that happen on multiple occasions where he made up with excuses as to why he was not at your house?
Yes.
Did the defendant ever finish the job at your house?
For the most part, yes. There was just like little things to do, like touch up paint, a little tiny bit of drywall work.
Did y'all end up paying him?
Yes.
And did he finish that work a couple days after the 1st of November? Or finish everything but the little?
Yes. Yes.
The main portion of the project was completed in the first
Yes.
week of November. And then he never returned after that.
Correct.
Ms. Hall, so you had paid him the rest of the contract price,
Yes.
and he never returned after you paid him?
Correct.
Now, Benderim has pleaded not guilty, and the state says they will seek the death penalty should he be convicted. We're going to bring you updates on this trial throughout the day here at Court TV.
Now let's turn back to South Carolina for the jealous husband murder trial.
Defendant William Bud Ackerman is accused of striking and killing the boyfriend of his estranged wife with his pickup truck.
Kenneth Davis McClendon was found deceased outside of his vehicle at an intersection at approximately 1:30 a.m. back in May of last year.
Now, over the course of their investigation, detectives say they determined that the crash that killed McClendon was intentional and that Ackerman had used his truck to hit the victim.
Let's get you back into court now. The defendant, Bud Ackerman, on the stand. He is still on direct examination by the defense.
Call how you got to where you were and ended up where your car ended up.
It happened so fast, I couldn't tell you.
At that time, when you veered off, was it basically, would you call it veering off or being knocked off?
Yeah.
Did you have control of the vehicle immediately?
No, sir.
And did you know at that point that you had actually hit somebody?
I knew somewhere along the way that he had been struck.
Pardon?
I knew somewhere along the way that he had been struck.
Okay. And did your vehicle end up, the resting place of your vehicle end up as been shown in some of the pictures on the right-hand side?
That's correct.
At the time that your vehicle came to rest, what direction were you facing? Were you facing toward the gate or were you facing up Avid Road?
Towards the gate.
What did you do at that time?
I got out of the vehicle and started screaming at Davis. I was hysterical. You know, I couldn't believe what happened. And I was trying to get a response, but he wouldn't respond to my screaming at him and hollering at him. So I got down and I touched his face 2 or 3 times to try to get him to come to. And then I saw the blood coming out of his ears, and I just started panicking and freaked out.
When you went down that road, did you have any intention of striking him?
I did not whatsoever.
When you got out of your vehicle, what was your emotional state as best you could describe to the jury?
I felt sick, my stomach. I mean, I was panicked. I didn't know. I'd never been in a situation like that before. I didn't know what to do. I was just all over the place. I'm panicking really bad.
And were you yelling?
I was yelling.
All right. And what was that a reaction to the situation that happened? What, if any, was that reason why you were yelling?
I mean, I believe I was just hysterically yelling, you know, because of what happened.
Okay. So did you go over to Mr. McClendon?
I did.
And did you do anything to Mr. McClendon when you went over there? Did you touch him?
I did. I touched his face a couple of times.
Were you yelling at him in an effort to see if he was awake or not deceased?
I was trying to get him to come to, yes, sir.
Okay. Did you have any success?
I did not.
Did you touch him? I think I asked you that.
I did.
Okay. And where did you touch him?
On his face.
And the purpose of that was what?
To try to get him to come to get him to come around.
At that point, based upon what you saw, what did you believe that he was alive or dead?
When I saw the blood coming out of his ears, I thought that he was dead.
And you've testified what your reaction was. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So did you get back in your vehicle?
I did.
And did you turn the vehicle around?
I did.
And you've seen pictures about the oil spill.
That's correct.
Have you had any dispute about that?
No, sir, not.
Okay. At the point that you saw him on the side of the road, did he have a shirt on?
No, sir, his shirt was off.
Okay. Did you do anything to Mr. McClendon's body other than to try and find out if he was alive or not?
I did not.
Somebody's talking about a wallet. Did you take a wallet?
I did not.
Let me go back again just briefly. When he was struck, did you have an intent to strike him?
I did not.
At the time that you saw him and where he was your intent to hit the vehicle to stop the momentum?
That's correct.
And you've testified that it was a second or two at the reaction time?
Yeah, if that.
Now, what did you do after you left there?
I went back to my parents' house and woke them up.
Why did you go to parents' house?
I didn't know what to do. I was just panicking and freaking out, kind of in a state of shock. I didn't have a clue of what to do. Like I said, I'd never been in a situation like that before where somebody was injured, that badly.
How did you feel physically?
Felt nauseous and sick.
And emotionally, you've already described.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's bring in trial attorney Kelly Hyman. Kelly, I'm skeptical, I gotta say. And part of the problem here, again, he doesn't mention anything about fear. So all that stuff about what the guy was saying, et cetera, I'm not sure it's relevant at all to what actually happened according to his story. But here's my problem. He gets out of the truck, he looks at the guy, apparently he's screaming at him. Not sure that's the approach most people would take. And then second of all, he leaves the scene without trying to get help with the guy. He's trying to sit there and act like he cared about the fact that this guy was hurt and is wanted to wake him up, and then he panics and leaves. I'm skeptical.
He's telling this so calmly as you watch his mannerisms, the way he's telling the story, that yes, very calmly that he was yelling. But the first thing out of my mind is you find out that someone's dead. Why not call 911? You first thing instinctively you do is get your phone and call someone immediately to come help someone. So you bring up a really good point of him getting in the car and then leaving. That just makes it feel like, no, he's kind of fleeing a scene, and it gives kind of questionable doubt of really, was that his intent to not hurt him, or did he really intend to harm him and then just get away and hope to get away with it?
I don't know. I found him pretty believable, Michael. Yes, you think call 911, do the right thing, but I can also see someone freaking out and panicking if they didn't mean to hit someone and they don't know what to do next because they know they've stepped in it and they didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, fair enough, but I'm looking at it and you listen to a man testify. How do we determine whether he's telling the truth or not?
Right.
It's the totality of the circumstances.
Of course.
When I look at what he was doing before and I look at what he did after, that's why I'm skeptical.
Yeah,
not so much by the way he's delivering it, but just his actions tell me maybe something different.
And there was one thing I noted, Kelly, I wanted to ask you about, and he referenced a couple of seconds. And those couple of seconds to me are the difference between premeditation or not, because his testimony is he saw the victim standing there. It was a couple of seconds before impact. Could you not argue that that couple of seconds is when he decided, I'm going to hit him on purpose, or in the alternative, that's when I'm going to swerve because I don't mean to hit him?
A life can change in a second, as we can see from the evidence that presented in this case. But absolutely, the fact that he had a couple seconds, and some could argue, definitely see this as the closing, that he saw him, and then right then in that moment, he intended to kill him. He had a couple of seconds, saw him, and said, I'm just going to go straight in. On the alternative, he saw him, and he did everything he could to swerve away. Ultimately, we'll see what the jury does in this case.
You know, I think with premeditation, I think there's some reasonable doubt there. Because unless we have definitive information that he perhaps accelerated or didn't try to get out of the way, I don't know how you can find premeditation.
And I agree with you. I think a lesser is important if the state really wants to get a conviction. But I also think, and Jasmine just made a really good point in my ear, and that is, this is a 7,000-pound pickup truck. It's not as if you slam on the brakes and it stops.
No.
That doesn't happen with this kind of vehicle.
2-3 seconds is not enough to stop that truck.
Nope. And it's believable that he swerved into the BMW to try to stop the car from moving. I think he didn't think, if you believe his story, he didn't think that the guy was hurt that badly and was still yelling at him, going at him, only to see the blood and freak out completely.
That's not the story you told on the stand.
Well, it's similar to. Okay, we're going to talk about that on a break and come back to you.
All right, let's step aside here, folks. We'll take a break. We'll have more about Ackerman on the stand when we come back. Keep it here on Court TV.
Hi, my name is Damian Clark. And if you have both Medicare and Medicaid, I have some really encouraging news that you'll definitely want to hear. Depending on the plans available in your area, you may be eligible to get extra benefits with the Humana Medicare Advantage Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan. Most plans include the Humana Healthy Options Allowance, a monthly allowance to help pay for eligible groceries, utilities, rent, and over-the-counter items, like vitamins, pain relievers, first aid supplies, and more. The Healthy Options Allowance is loaded onto a prepaid card each month, and whatever you don't spend carries over from each month. You can pay nothing for covered prescriptions all year long, even name brand drugs. All plans have $0 copays for covered preventive dental services, which include 2 free cleanings a year, as well as fillings. They may also have vision coverage, including vision exams, and a yearly allowance towards eyewear, such as lenses or contacts. Even hearing coverage, which includes routine hearing exams and coverage towards hearing aids. You'll even have a $0 copay for routine vaccines and telehealth visits. Plus, your doctor, hospital, and pharmacy may already be part of our large Humana networks. So call the number on your screen now to speak with a licensed Humana sales agent. Wouldn't you love benefits like a monthly allowance? To help pay for eligible groceries, utilities, rent, and over-the-counter items. So if you have Medicare and Medicaid, call the number on your screen now and speak with a licensed Humana sales agent. If you're eligible, they can even help enroll you over the phone in a Humana Medicare Advantage Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan. And remember, annual enrollment ends on December 7th. So call now. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
Who's coming in the driveway?
My daughter is being treated for leukemia. I hope that she lives a long, great, happy life and that she will never forget how Mom and Daddy love her. St. Jude, I mean, this is what's keeping my baby girl alive.
You can join the battle to save lives by supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. For just $19 a month, you'll help us continue the life-saving research and treatment these kids need now and in the future.
Cancer makes me feel angry, like not in the, feel on the outside, just the inside I'm angry at it.
When your kid is hurting and there's nothing you can do about it, that's the worst feeling in the world.
1 in 5 children diagnosed with cancer in the U.S. will not survive.
Those that donate to St. Jude, and I hope that you will continue to give. They have done so much for me and my family.
Join with your debit or credit card now, and we'll send you this St. Jude t-shirt that you can proudly wear.
Están salvando vidas. Y
Y la vida de mi hija es una de ellas.
You ready to go have some fun?
When we came here, we didn't know what tomorrow would hold. St. Jude showed us that tomorrow there's hope for our little girl to survive.
Let's cure childhood cancer together. Please donate now.
All right, folks, back to court in just a minute. But first, new developments out of Connecticut, where defendant Ewan DeWitt was offered a plea deal earlier today in connection to the murder of his ex-girlfriend.
DeWitt is charged with first-degree murder in the December 2022 death of his ex-girlfriend, Julie Minogue. The plea offer would have DeWitt serve 45 years in prison.
Prosecutors say DeWitt killed Minogue with an axe in front of their 3-year-old son, just days after a no-contact restraining order was filed against DeWitt.
DeWitt is expected back in court on October 25th to accept or reject the offer made by the state attorney. This one is a terrible case. Of course, we're going to keep you updated on any new developments in that case.
Yeah, that one's a rough one. All right, for now, we are in South Carolina. Defendant Bud Ackerman is testifying in his own defense after being accused of intentionally killing his estranged wife's new boyfriend with his pickup truck. So let's get you right back into court for more.
When you got to your parents' house, what did you do?
I went into their bedroom and woke them up.
Okay. And did you tell your parents what happened?
I did.
And do you remember how long you were with them in the house prior to you hearing emergency vehicles?
No, I don't. Time's hard to tell when you're in a situation like that.
At some point, did you call 911?
No, I walked outside too, but I could hear the sirens coming down the road, so I elected not to call them. I knew somebody had already called the first responders.
Did you and your dad exit the house at the same time?
We did.
Did you said you heard the emergency vehicles at some point?
That's correct.
Do you know what the time elapsed was between the impact and the time that you were standing out in front hearing the emergency vehicle?
I'm not sure, no, sir.
Did law enforcement come to your house?
They did.
Do you recall how many people or how many law enforcement officers you had interaction with? And I'm just talking about being around.
Yeah, I'm not sure. 3 or 4, at least.
There was a number of them.
That's correct.
During the period that you were there, at some point did somebody place you into the patrol car, a patrol car?
They did.
And thereafter, at some point, did someone transport you down to the sheriff's department?
They did. That's correct.
And at some point that morning, were you arrested for the charge?
I was, yes, sir.
Okay. As far as the time frame for any of that, do you have any idea what the time frame was?
I have no idea.
At the time that you had this incident down on Sawgrass and Avid Road, were you under the influence of any alcohol or beer? Or beer, let's talk about it.
I had a few beers to drink, but I physically and mentally felt fine.
Were you impaired at all?
No, sir.
Your mental or physical faculties impaired?
No, sir.
How far did you drive from where you were, the last point you were, to your parents' house?
Roughly 15 miles.
Okay. Did you have any difficulty driving?
No, sir.
Did you have control of the vehicle?
I did.
When you got to your parents' house, was that the same condition you were in?
Yes, sir.
After you heard the sirens and the vehicles going, were they going past your house?
Yeah, they were coming down Old Abbeville Highway.
They were coming from Greenwood.
That's correct.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you know at that point, or did you have an idea at that point where they were going?
Yes, sir. I knew somebody had called the police.
Did you stay at your parents' house until they came?
I did.
Did you anticipate that they were going to eventually come to your parents' house?
I did.
Look at the jury and tell me whether or not you ever intended to have this incident happen where Mr. McClendon was killed down at Sawgrass and Avid Road.
Absolutely not.
Did you go there with that intention?
Absolutely not.
When you got there, did you have that intention?
I did not.
And what was your reaction when it did happen?
I tried to avoid it by swerving into his vehicle.
And then what? What happened to your vehicle?
I lost control of it.
Okay. And do you recall how you got to where your car rested, or your vehicle, your truck?
No, I don't.
Okay. But you don't dispute the diagrams and the pictures of your vehicle.
Objection to leave.
All right. Do you dispute? I'm sorry. Do you dispute that you turned your vehicle around?
I do not.
Do you dispute that you left an oil trail?
I do not.
Did you realize you were leaving an oil trail?
I did.
And was there an oil trail also present at your parents' house?
There was.
Was there any question in your mind that eventually the police were going to wind up there?
None whatsoever.
So at some point you spoke with your mom and dad, and did you call a lawyer as well?
I did.
And who was the lawyer?
Ed McCallum.
And did Ed McCallum represent you in the... I'm not asking what he said.
I think Mr. Meadows kind of stopped and waited and withdrew his objection, or anticipated objection.
Don't go into anything that was said. I'm just asking you, did you call him?
Yes, sir.
Or was he your lawyer from the divorce proceedings?
That's correct.
That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Meadows, cross-examination.
All right, that's the end of the direct. Michael, what do you think of his last statement? I tried to avoid it by swerving into the vehicle, the victim's BMW, and then I lost control of my vehicle.
Yeah, I think the defense attorney was surprised by it a little bit.
Yeah.
He tried to get back into him to rehabilitate that answer because it doesn't make sense with what he said earlier. He saw the guy, he had control of the car, he tried to get out of the way of the guy, and then it hit the thing, and then, you know, boom. So I don't know where he would have lost control. I don't think those two things jive. And if a juror picked it up that way, it could be problematic.
Yeah, I don't think he really meant that.
Yes,
The way it came out.
Exactly.
All right, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to start with the beginning of the cross-examination of the defendant. Can't wait to see this. Stay with us.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, a music mogul now faces federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges. We have the very latest in the case against Sean Diddy Combs.
Closing Arguments, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
A 17-year-old boy charged with killing 2 people during a chaotic protest.
I intended to stop the people who were attacking me.
Victim to Verdict with Ted Rollins. All new Sunday night, 8/7 Central.
Only on Court TV.
At Bombas, we dream of comfort and softness, which is why we make the best socks and slippers in the history of feet. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
You know what I love about Quick Hit Slots? It's the mobile slots game that gives you those authentic Vegas thrills. Quick Hit Slots has all the games you know and love. And best of all, the jackpot. Download Quick Hit Slots for free and get a 6 million coin bonus. Make every day a winning day.
What will you do when the power goes out? Power outages can be unpredictable and inconvenient, but with a Generac home standby generator, your life goes on uninterrupted, because when your Generac detects a power outage, it automatically powers up, giving your family the security and peace of mind they deserve.
We don't have to worry about whether we lose power or not. If the utility company does not come
come through, our Generac does.
After the hurricane happened, we just want to be prepared for anything.
8 out of 10 home generators are Generac, with thousands of satisfied customers.
The number one thing to prepare for is extended power outages. Don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
And owning a generator is easier than ever. Special financing and low monthly payment options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. Call or go online now to request your free quote.
Hi, I'm John.
Hey, I'm Janine.
I'm Steve, and I've been a Consumer Cellular customer for 8 years.
3 years.
11 years.
When they asked me if I want to be in a testimonial commercial,
I said sure.
I said sure. I said sure.
but I got a tournament to get ready for.
Not if the fish are biting.
But it's a beautiful day. We started looking for another provider primarily because we felt like we were paying way too much.
I chose to switch because of the savings. It was amazing. Way cheaper than where I was.
I could hardly believe that my bill was so small. I'm paying less than $30 a month. It's a great service for a great price.
Unlimited talk and text with flexible data plans starting at $20. Plus, for a limited time, new customers save $50 when you sign up today.
The place that I live in is heavily forested. There's a lot of trees. What got me to be a customer, really, to tell you the truth, was the reception and the coverage of Consumer Cellular.
I travel a lot. I need coverage, no matter where I am. And so whether I'm in Augusta, Georgia, or Pebble Beach, California, I know that I'm going to be covered with Consumer Cellular.
I love to go faraway places, remote places. I haven't had trouble with coverage, no dropped calls.
Consumer Cellular offers fast, reliable nationwide coverage. Plus, for a limited time, new customers save $50 when you sign up today.
When we switched over from Verizon to Consumer Cellular, it was a really painless process.
Just kept the same phone. I kept the same number.
Anytime I call customer service, it's U.S. based.
It's nice to know when I have an issue that I can have a real conversation.
Customer service has been great. I just get a bill at the end of the month. It's on auto pay, and it's super easy.
And as AARP members, we also get a nice discount.
That's right. AARP members receive a 5% discount. Make the switch now to the most awarded brand by J.D. Power. New customers save $50 when you sign up today.
Call 800-664-3547.
Or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Michael Ayala here with Judge Ashley Wilcott. We are bringing you key testimony out of South Carolina in the murder trial of Bud Ackerman.
He is on the stand testifying in his own defense. Prosecutors say he was jealous of his soon-to-be ex-wife's new love interest and purposely ran into him with his pickup truck, killing him in May of last year.
Now, Ackerman says he absolutely did not intend for this to happen. He didn't go to that place looking to hurt anyone, just wanted to talk. Well, let's go back, and now he's ready for cross-examination by the state.
Before you heard the sirens?
After.
After you heard the sirens?
Yeah, I believe so.
And you testified just a minute ago that you called, excuse me, you knew someone had called 911?
I did.
How?
I could hear the sirens coming down the road.
And law enforcement responded there. How long after you ran into Davis did you hear the sirens?
According to the data, it was roughly 30, 40 minutes, something like that.
Okay. And during that 30 and 40 minutes, you didn't call 911?
No, sir.
You didn't call an ambulance?
No, sir.
You didn't stay at the scene?
No, sir.
You left?
That's correct.
Told your parents what happened?
That's correct.
Nobody called 911?
No, sir.
Nobody called for an ambulance?
No, sir.
But you said you were fixing to call 911 when you heard the sirens?
That's correct.
I mean, you actually were fixing to dial 911 and you heard the sirens?
Walking out the house.
Why'd you decide then, after waiting 30 to 40 minutes, you'd call 911 then?
I didn't realize it was that long at the time.
And you said that Mr. Swirling asked you were coming down driving, you were just going to talk to him on the side of his car?
That's correct.
At 35 miles an hour, you were going down there to talk to him on the side of the car?
I wasn't aware of how fast I was going.
You don't dispute it, do you?
Not from the evidence, no.
Okay. And you've been on that road before?
Yes, sir.
You knew it well?
Not well, but I've been on it.
You knew where you were meeting, right?
Yes, sir.
You knew there was a gate behind it?
I did.
Okay, you saw the car there, didn't you?
I saw the headlights.
You knew that was Davis's car?
I didn't know it was his car.
Who'd you think it was?
Well, I mean, the only person that was there would be Davis.
Because you were on the phone with him when you were coming down there.
Possibly.
No, well, not possibly.
Yeah, just stop.
Thank you.
Did you have an objection? No. Did you have an objection? Oh, you just need a minute. Okay. You good now?
Judge, just answer Mr. Meadows. I cannot hear the question, so if you could just maybe get near a mic, that's all I'd ask.
All right. Watch it.
I'll speak louder.
Okay.
Didn't move. I can't help
If you still can't hear him, then maybe he'll go to the mic.
Yes.
You were on the phone with Davis as you were coming down Avid, weren't you?
I'm not sure.
Well, think about it a minute. You're on the phone with him coming down there, and you're talking about where you're going to meet, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, didn't he tell you I'm already here?
No, sir.
You're coming down, you're meeting him, you know what car he's got, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know how fast you're going?
I do not.
What was your plan, to ride right by his door?
Come up beside him, yes, sir.
Well, when were you going to slow down?
When I got close to his vehicle.
You were going to slam on brakes right there?
If I needed to.
You would agree that 35 miles an hour, if you were going down there, that's a lot of speed going down at a dead end right there. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would say so.
You would say so. I want the record to be clear. Davis McClendon had nothing to do with your breakup with Meredith, did he?
No, sir.
Nothing.
No, sir.
And I want to say it one more time. He asked you 3 times. Nothing, did it?
No, sir.
And Mr. Swirling asked you, you didn't want to break up, and you did no act or anything to act for the divorce, but your action caused the separation, didn't it?
Objection. The basis of divorce is improper to go into. Your Honor's already, it's just improper.
You going to go even further
No,
than that?
no, sir. He was just implied that he didn't want the divorce,
And
but
without going into any specifics, I'll allow that question and then leave it at that. But I don't know if we got a response.
I do.
Repeat the question,
Okay.
Mr. Maddox.
Mr. Swirling asked you, you didn't want to get divorced, you're legally separate. You took no action in the part of the legal separation, but your action was the reason for the separation, wasn't it?
It was a mix.
You found out about their relationship on or about Davis and Meredith on or about April 28th, 29th, is that fair?
Somewhere in that range.
And you said your initial conversation, he wasn't that upset, you weren't that upset, right? Or you said that you weren't that upset then, initially?
Not initially, no, sir.
Okay. Well, and you said that some text back and forth, she quit texting you. Actually, y'all were texting back and forth right up through May 7th, you and Meredith, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were talking to her. It wasn't like she quit communicating with you.
Yeah, over the phone, she said text only.
Okay, so that's communication. Y'all were texting back and forth, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
Right up to this. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I thought you gave the implication you weren't communicating. She cut off all communication. You got texts coming right up to when Davis was killed with her. Correct?
Correct.
In one of them, on April 28th, you conveyed that to her, didn't you?
I did.
So you were angry about it on April 28th.
I was.
And then on April 29th,
Keep going.
I won't say his last name, but it's 29, Danny. What the hell is Davis thinking, man? I mean, what the hell, Danny? Response, I have no clue what you're talking about. You remember this?
I do.
He has been effing Meredith. Expressing your anger to somebody else, correct?
That's correct.
He said, that's news to me. You said I had my suspicions, but was confirmed by her. I can't believe he would do that to me.
All right, let's bring back in our guest. With us, trial attorney Kelly Hyman. And Kelly, it's clear where the state is going, right? For them to get their conviction that this was an intentional murder, they really have to play up the anger part, the fact that he was angry. And those texts really pointed out.
The intent is going to be key in this case, but also in regards to the text, why didn't his counsel bring it up during his direct cross-examination? I mean, those are bad facts. You have those facts, you bring it out. Otherwise, the jury thinks, why are you hiding this information? Why are now the defense counsel bringing that up? Bring all that stuff up in the beginning and show it to the jury saying, hey, we're being honest with you. Yes, he was upset. They were having this affair, but he didn't do it. He didn't have the intent to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kelly. And they could have done it in a way to also bring out, well, that was April 28th, 29th, when you first found out your passions are running high. Did you feel that way on May 6th, 7th when this happened? But we digress. Let me ask you this, because I'm shocked they didn't bring it out too. Kelly, how do you think he's faring so far on cross-examination?
He's getting very nervous. You could see that he's very upset. He appears at times like he's misspeaking. Like one of the questions asked about him when he was at the accident, how he saw the oil, but then it's supposed to be late at night. So then how did he see the oil at the accident? And then how long he waited? He's just getting very nervous, and potentially it doesn't look good for the jury that he's not sure what happened and conflicting statements.
Kelly, if we just go around with this idea that he did not have intent to kill this person, and we don't know if the lesser includers will be given to this jury, but let's assume they are because I think the facts fit it. Manslaughter is the unlawful killing of another without malice. Could that be a charge this jury could settle on?
That could be. They're definitely saying, well, he didn't have the specific intent to do it, but he was reckless in the way in which it happened, that they could find him guilty of that charge.
I think that may be where a jury's more likely to go. Again, if they believe him. That's what they have to decide. Do they believe his version or not? Do you believe him?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. We're going to see what the jury does. Thank you so much to Kelly Hyman for joining us this hour.
All right, folks, coming up, more testimony from defendant Bud Ackerman in the jealous husband murder trial. We're coming right back.
I'm interested in trying these new weight loss shots, but I need it to be more affordable because my insurance doesn't cover it. I'm not sure which online provider to trust, and I want to ask a doctor a lot of questions.
The secret's out. At Henry Meds, our knowledgeable providers demystify compounded semaglutide, the same active ingredient in brand name weight management meds. If you're eligible for treatment, your medication will be shipped to your door for just $297 a month. You can save thousands by using Henry Meds for weight management medication.
Hey, you folks. Matt McCoy here to talk about the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford and why people love it so much. This is a good movie. Looks like it got a 94% thumbs up. Now, that's pretty high. Even that's less than the 96% of customers 50 and over who recommend the Hartford. In fact, 4 out of 5 AARP members who switched to the Hartford from companies like Allstate, State Farm, and Geico got a lower rate. And many of them saved hundreds on their auto insurance. Not an AARP member? Hey, not to worry. The Hartford can help you join in minutes.
To start saving on your insurance today, get your free quote by calling the Hartford at 1-800-418-5830 or visit trusthartford.com.
I hear this place is great. 90% of diners recommend it. That doesn't beat the 96% of customers who recommend the Hartford. You just can't beat benefits like disappearing deductible. Plus, they offer new car replacement.
New car replacement?
Yep. If your new car is totaled, the Hartford will pay the full replacement cost.
The camera on this phone is amazing.
It's only a 93% satisfaction rating, though. Still less than the Hartford. You know what else? You could save even more if you bundle home and auto. For the savings, benefits, and best-in-class claims experience you deserve, make the switch today.
Join the millions of drivers 50 and over who switch to the AARP Auto Insurance Program from The Hartford and get the savings you want and the award-winning claims experience you deserve. To get your free, no-obligation quote and see how much you could save, call The Hartford at 1-800-418-5830 or visit trusthartford.com. The Bucks got your back.
No, not now. Are you a genie?
You got 3 wishes.
How about free talk, free text, and free data?
You just got text now. The only phone service with unlimited talk and text plus data for essential apps, all for free.
Like free?
Free. No bills. So text me, email me. It's free.
It's magic.
It's not magic. Download now.
Pretty Litter was the one that changed my world when it comes to cats.
My house never smells like cat litter. I don't have to worry about, if he's sick or not because I could tell by the color of the health monitor. Because Pretty Litter changed colors, I was able to get my cat Larry to the vet and get him the help that he needed.
My favorite part about having it delivered, it's convenient, it's there when I need it.
It's different than any litter I've ever seen or used, which is why I love it.
So give it a try. Visit prettylitter.com today.
Ready to party? I'm talking about Jackpot Party, the leading free-to-play mobile slots game that always gives you more. Download Jackpot Party for free and get a 45 million coin bonus. Jackpot Party, a party in every spin.
This is from Populish. You know the brand that made those viral shapewear dresses?
It has this mesh shapewear underneath that's super breathable and stretchy. This looks incredible and it's super comfy too. Guys, this is gonna boost your confidence so much. You guys can check them out at populish.com.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Michael Ayala.
And I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott. The defendant in the jealous husband murder trial is on the stand testifying in his own defense. William Bud Ackerman is accused of running over and killing Kenneth Davis McClendon, who was dating Ackerman's estranged wife at the time.
Ackerman is still on the stand. He's now facing cross-examination. Let's get back into court.
Exactly. You couldn't believe he'd do that to you. I've known him my whole life. You were angry, weren't you?
I wasn't angry. I wasn't happy about it either.
I don't know what to tell you, Bud. Damn, I don't know either. It's just effed up. That's what you said, wasn't it?
That's correct.
Now, you remember this.
I remember it.
And the malice train started rolling in on, didn't it?
No, sir.
Well, did you get happier about it?
That's what I thought.
Did you get happier about it after that?
After I talked to Davis, I did.
Mr. Swirling asked you about you didn't, you weren't sure of your legal separation. You weren't dating. Would you remember when?
Can we approach? Is it about this legal separation?
I'm not going anywhere else on that.
There is no such thing.
No, I was responding to his.
That's a term that is often used, and I agree that technically there is no such thing as a legal separation, but that's a common term that people use, and maybe some lawyers use too. So
I apologize. I'll say separation. Mr. Swirling asked you about your separation period.
That's correct.
Fair. And you weren't dating.
No, sir.
Do you remember when you checked out? What's Tinder?
It's a dating app.
Okay. Do you remember when you checked that out?
I do not.
You disputing that you went to the Tinder website?
I'm not.
You're not disputing that?
I'm not.
Why would you have gone there?
Just to see what the options were.
See what your options were. So is it fair to say as of April 28th, April 29th, you were jealous?
I wasn't jealous.
How many kids does Davis have?
3.
How old are they?
I'm not sure.
Y'all had no prior bad blood prior to this, ever?
No, sir.
So just to go back briefly, when Mr. Swirling asked you that she cut off all contact Meredith, that's a lie because there was contact through text, correct?
We cut off contact, verbal contact.
You had the kids this weekend, didn't you? This weekend of this, it's okay. And when you got back from, I think, the fair, you said, or somewhere with Bobby Stuckey?
Yes, sir.
You went to Key West?
That's correct.
And you've seen the video of yourself on there?
I have.
And you said you had a few beers?
That's correct.
Did you watch yourself go to the bar?
I did.
Would you dispute you had 7 or 8 beers?
I would.
You would dispute. Well, how many did you have?
A few.
What's a few?
4.
Did you see how many times you went to the bar?
I did.
Who's the person? Somebody bought you one also, right?
That's correct.
Who was that?
Bob Thompson.
Okay. And how many beers had you had prior to that?
2.
And had you stopped at a convenience store and gotten a Traveler or anything anywhere to the process?
Got one, I'm sorry?
A Traveler. Did you have one with you driving any time during the day?
No, sir.
So how many beers do you have total that day?
I don't know.
You got no idea?
Yeah, I have an idea.
Tell me.
6.